Okay, now we're still on the same packet we did yesterday, but we have one major problem. We still got the second power, there's still two answers, okay? However, when there's two answers, where's the zero, okay? So I'm going to put 0, where are ya? Okay. I don't have 0, okay? Sorry. Yeah, for now, you have to have 0 if there's two answers, okay? In order to factor it, you need the equation equal to 0. So here's how I fix that. I minus 28x, and then I get rid of it. However, I can't subtract 28x from 14x squared, because that has a second power, that's just x. So what I do is I put minus 28x, okay? So now I have a new equation, 14x to the second minus 28x equals 0, okay? Now I'm ready to go, okay, with my factoring. Well, that's a bad box. So GCF, I do not have a negative. I have x connected to both. So 14 and 28, let's check 14, okay? 14 divided by 1 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 14 divided by 3 decimal, 14 divided by 4 decimal, 14 divided by 5 decimal, and 14 divided by 6 decimal, and then I've already got 7, okay? Now let's check 14. He's the big guy. So 14 divided by 14 is 1. 28 divided by 14 is 2. 14's a winner, okay? So again, we put him here. So that's 1x. Negative 28 divided by 14 is minus 2. Then those cancel. So that's factor number 1. That's factor number 2. And I've broken it. So 14x equals 0. 1x minus 2 equals 0. So I'm going to just divide by 14. And x is 0. I'm going to plus 2. And 1x equals 2. Next problem, two answers, but 0, where are you at? So I'm minus 9x, and I'm going to minus him here because I can't really do it from the negative 24 because that's got a second power. So negative 24x to the second minus 9x equals 0. So space times parentheses equals 0. So the GCF, I have a negative in front. I have x on both. Now I take 9 and make the factor list. So 1 and 9. 9 divided by 2 decimal. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 3, I got twins, okay? So let's check 9. 24 divided by 9, that doesn't work. 9's a loser, okay? 24 divided by 3 works, and 9 divided by 3, oh, that works too, okay? So I have negative 3x as my GCF, so I'm going to transfer that over here. Okay, make that negative, so that's 8x, and that's plus 3. Okay, so that's factor 1, and that's factor 2. Okay, so negative 3x equals 0. 8 multiplied by x plus 3 equals 0. So I divide by negative 3, and I get 0. And then I minus 3 and minus 3. 8 multiplied by x equals negative 3. Divide by 8. Okay. So negative 3 divided by 8. Okay, the decimal does stop, so I'm good with that. Negative 0.375. Okay. All right, next problem. Two answers. There's a second power, so we got to move the 4x over, okay? So we have a new equation, 8x to the second minus 4x equals 0, exactly how I want it, okay? So space times parentheses. So GCF, don't have a negative, I have x on both. Let's take 4, 1, 4, 2, 2, just like that. It's twins, so we're done with the list. Now we start trying to divide, okay? So 8 divided by 4 is 2, 4 divided by 4 is 1, okay? So that's 4 works, 4 is the winner. So 4x, that's factor number 1. Now to find factor number 2, we just divide by 4x. That's 2x. Negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1, so minus 1. Then I cross out the 2x's, the two variables, and that's factor number 2. Okay? So 4x equals 0. 2x minus 1 equals 0. Divide by 4, so x is 0. 2x equals 1. Divide by 2. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. Okay, next problem. This is just a repeat of this, so I'm going to scribble that out. Let's go to the back page and finish this bad boy up. Okay. Two answers. Where's the 0? I don't have it, okay? So I need to subtract it. Because now that we have two answers, we need to start getting everything to one side, okay? Because I need to find out what times what would give me this, okay? So GCF, negative in front, I don't have one. I got an X, though. Let's try 3. 3 divided by 1 is 3. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So let's go with 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, so 3 works. Okay, so 3x. So space multiplied by parentheses is 0, and I'm going to transfer the 3x in the space. And that's factor number 1. Okay, factor number 2, I divide by 3x. So that's going to be 1x. That's negative 2, so minus 2, okay? So 3 multiplied by x equals 0, 1x minus 2 equals 0. So I divide by 3, I get 0, plus 2, 1x equals 2, 0, and 2. Okay, next problem, there's two answers. 0, where you at? Don't see it. So minus 10x, okay? So 4x to the second minus 10x equals 0. Space times parentheses. Okay, so I don't have the negative. I got x on both. 4 and 10 is, we'll go with 4. 1, 4, 2, and 2. Okay, 4 divided by 4 is 1. 10 divided by 4 is a decimal. It's not going to work. Okay, now let's try 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, so 2. Okay, so 2x, 2x, 2x. Okay, so it's going to be 2x and minus 5. Okay. Okay, so 2x equals 0, 2x minus 5 equals 0. So I divide by 2, I get 0, plus 5, 2x equals 5, divide by 2, and 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. You can get a decimal for your final answer. That's the only place you want decimals with these problems. Okay, 2 left, and we're done with this endless packet, but I hope you've had enough practice on it so you can kind of do one on your own. Again, I have the second power, so I need a 0. So minus 14x. I'm going to minus that from here. So now my new equation states that negative 42 multiplied by x to the second power minus 14 multiplied by x equals 0. Wow, that sounds complicated. But that's why we have these little plans that make it helpful. Negative in front, yep. You have x on both, yep. Let's try 14. 114. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 14 divided by 3, nope. 14 divided by 4, nope. 14 divided by 5, nope. 14 divided by 6, and then I've already got 7, so we're going to go with 14 first. Try that. So 42 divided by 14 is 3. 14 divided by 14 is 1. Okay? 14. Okay? So negative 14x. So that's going to be 3x. Negative 14 divided by negative 14 is positive 1. Okay. So that's factor 1. That's factor 2. So negative 14 multiplied by x could equal 0, or 3x plus 1 could equal 0. So I get 0. Minus 1, 3x equals negative 1. Then we divide by 3. Okay, here's what happens when I divide negative 1 by 3. It's a never-ending decimal, so you want to keep that negative 1 out of 3. It's like you get 3. Again, a concept of a fraction is like if you do 3 problems, you only get 1 of them right. You got 1 out of 3. Okay, last one. Finally, 2 answers. Plus 30x. Plus 30x, okay? So negative 12x squared plus 30x equals 0. Now I look for a GCF, okay? Pull that thing apart. Negative in front, got it. X on both, of course. 12, so 112. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 12 divided by 3 is 4, so 3, 4, and then I already got 4. Okay, let's see if 12 works. 12 divided by 12 is 1, 30 divided by 12, decimal, not good, 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2, 30 divided by 6 is 5, bingo, okay, so 6. Negative 6x is coming out. Okay, so that's going to be 2, and then x, and then negative 5, so minus 5, okay? So that's factor 1, and that's factor 2. So negative 6x equals 0, 2x minus 5 equals 0. So I divide by negative 6, and for about the 18th problem, I get 0 as my first answer. Plus 5, 2x equals 5. And 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Okay, hope that's been informative. Hope it made sense.